Hey everyone, and welcome back to Business Guide. There are plenty of ways to plan financially for your future. Planning ahead will help you to secure funds and live comfortably for the rest of your life. There are also plenty of mistakes that people so often make that can ruin their financial future. A lot of these mistakes are hidden in our everyday habits. We will be diving in and discovering what you can do to secure your future. Sorting out some of these bad habits will help you to build the future you need. Today, we are going to be talking about the top 10 money mistakes you must avoid. Make sure you stay until number 1, as you don't want to miss a mistake that you may be making and how you can change that today. Number 10, relying on credit cards. Credit cards are pretty much an everyday thing now. You buy groceries, you pull out a credit card. You go to a fancy dinner, you pull out a credit card. What people need to learn is credit cards are dangerous. The use of invisible money makes it tempting to spend more than what you have. Credit cards lead to debt, and that is what can financially ruin you. You will need to pay off your credit card eventually, and interest can be a silent killer in this case. It's easy to use a credit card, but it can be difficult to track the money you are crediting. Think of it like a loan. Every time you swipe, you are promising to pay back plus pay interest. What if you won't have that kind of money down the road? It is smart to use cash or debit cards when you pay because you know that you actually have that money. Credit cards can be tricky, and the less you use them, the safer your money is. So ditch the credit and watch as your debt lowers. Number 9, not investing wisely. Investments are the key to earning money beyond a standard paycheck. With investments, you can spend on something while also expecting to give it back after some time. Think of stocks. If you play it right, you can invest a lot of money at the right time, then sell for a huge profit. The key is to be investing wisely. Some people think that spending big on something that depreciates in value over time is investment. The truth is, if you spend on a new car, you most likely will not be able to sell that car for a profit. It will be older and used. Unless it's a vintage collectible, you will be losing money. So the key is to invest wisely. Look into what you are putting your money into and see if it will earn you back a profit. There are plenty of assets to invest in. Some require more capital than others, so try to find something within your budget range. Invest wisely and watch your income grow. Number 8, being scared to take financial risks. If you don't take risks, you won't get rewards. Financially, you want to be as smart as possible. Sometimes that involves taking risks. A risk, financially speaking, is carefully planned out so that you end up earning instead of losing. So when you take a risk, try thinking it through instead of just doing it impulsively. Now, risk can be a scary word, but think of this like investments. Sometimes you worry that you made a mistake in what you invested in, but if you did your research, you would know if you made the right decision. Try starting out with something you are familiar with. Maybe you know a lot about clothing, so you invest in thrift store clothes so you can upsell them. These risks can lead you to more financial discoveries and help you to earn more to invest more. Go ahead and take the leap into riskier financial investments, just make sure you know what you are doing. Number 7, saving rather than investing. People generally believe that saving is the key to getting rich. The truth is, the richest people know exactly what to spend on. That is because they know it is important to invest. Investing, as mentioned earlier in this list, can help you to make money outside of your standard salary. Keeping all your money in savings is a habit that needs to be broken. Savings just keeps your money sitting until you are ready to spend it. In fact, it is almost asking to be spent. Instead, take some of what you would normally save and turn it into more cash. Spend it on something that will grow. Use your money to make money. That is how the wealthy people do it. Secure your future with investments instead of savings. Letting your money sit can be dangerous. What happens when you need to spend it? You will, and it will eventually run out. Use it on something that will assure your wealth in the future. Number 6, not saving for retirement early. You may think, oh, I'm young, I don't need to think of retirement yet. That is a dangerous way of thinking. As soon as you start earning money, you should be considering saving for retirement. You never know what will happen down the line, so start saving up while you know you can. Retirement funds are usually started by people down the line after they get comfortable with their career. You never know how secure your job is or when you'll need to retire, so to be safe, start when you're young. Retirement can be a scary thought for younger people, but being prepared can ease those thoughts. Preparedness is key to a financial stable future. In order to live comfortably in retirement, you'll need to think about it as soon as you get your first job. When it comes to wealth, you'll always need to think several steps ahead. That is what can help you in your future. Number 5, spending on drugs or cigarettes. It goes without saying that we don't want to spend on unnecessary items, but sometimes we do. When splurging for yourself, think about what you are doing and figure out if it will have risks in the long run. Drugs or cigarettes are some of the worst things to spend on. They will impact your future. Addiction is costly. Getting addicted to drugs or cigarettes mean you have something you are constantly spending on. It also affects your health. This means more frequent doctor visits, and we all know how expensive that can get. Avoid this from the get-go, and you can avoid a future of extreme spendings. Drugs and cigarettes are dangerous to begin with, so it is best to avoid them. But if you are already spending on them, consider getting help to quit. Your future will look a lot brighter once you do. Number 4. Spending too much on rent. It is nice to live luxuriously, but when it comes to renting a place to live, maybe you should consider keeping it humble. When renting a place, especially if it is your first place, keep rent low. Look for a place that has the amenities you need at an affordable cost. Rent can be a money killer, so be highly cautious of how you spend it. Monthly dues should never exceed what you are earning, and you need to budget the rent with utilities as well. A careful budget will help you figure out how much you can spend. Planning ahead is also a smart move when thinking about renting a place out. Go for what is economical as opposed to what is hip and luxurious. It may not be the best place to live in, but saving at this stage can mean you will be able to buy better in the future. Number 3. Having just one source of income. So, we talked about the importance of being prepared. We will be seeing that again now in the case of having multiple sources of income. One source of income can be risky because you don't know for sure how secure that can be. If you lose your job, you can lose all of your income. It is a scary thought. That is why it is important to try to get more than one source of income. Maybe you have a side hustle or a passive income. You don't need to overwork yourself just to have multiple incomes. Side hustles are becoming increasingly popular and can help big time. Side hustles can be something simple like selling your used clothes or being a website auditor. Passive incomes can come from things like rental properties. These can be low maintenance and assure you a safe financial future in emergency cases. Consider adding onto your income so you can have a comfortable financial future ahead of you. Number 2. Not having an emergency fund. Some people keep it simple with a fund for saving and a fund for spending. This can be risky in the case of emergencies and unplanned incidents that require you to spend. Unexpected things happen, and it is important to have an emergency fund for these cases. This will help you to set aside some money so you won't spend the money you need. An example would be if you hit a post while driving. It can be costly to repair. It also is something you most likely didn't plan on spending on. An emergency fund could help pay for that without touching money that could be used for investments. Emergency funds are exactly for that. Emergencies. That is a smart way of saving because it is used for actual spending but only as needed. Be careful not to dip into this fund when you run out of other funds. This should be strictly for emergency use only, and that will ensure that your spendings are all in order. Number 1. Spending more than you make. Spending. That is one of the biggest downfalls to anyone's financial future. You see something you like, you try to find some funding to buy it. It is dangerous and you should really try to consider everything before you buy. Number 1 on this list is spending more than you make because, honestly, it is a terrible habit that a lot of people have. At the end of the month, you find that you're short on cash and that could really have easily been avoided. Budgeting is highly important when it comes to spendings and earnings. Make sure you take into account everything you spend in a month, plus emergency funds and contingency. Try to keep some cash at the end of each month to avoid living at extremes with a paycheck to paycheck way of life. This will help you save up for investments and earn even more. Thanks for watching. While you are here, go ahead and click on one of these 2 videos on your screen. See you there.